committee. Good to see you have lined up. So, do you want to speak first? Or
Well, I just wanted to sort of put some background to, and then I can hand it over to the ladies if that's okay with you, Chair. Okay, cool. Look, obviously with this strategy, it's one of our core strategies that will obviously deliver on the Auckland plan, and one of the strategic directions on the Auckland plan was regarding arts and culture. So I really just wanted to tell people, and I wanted to thank the people involved with this. It's a long time coming, Chair. Yeah. This journey started for me in 2010, when myself and His Worship the Mayor had the first meeting in regards to a strategic action plan. When we had our first meeting with all our partners and our trusts around the direction we needed to head. So to the councillors that were on the first Culture and Arts Committee, and also on the second one, I say thank you, because they have allowed this journey to continue. I also, Chair, just want to acknowledge, and from the start, Beverly Fletcher. Beverly Fletcher again started in 2010 with us. Raywin Stone then came on board. Alice Farwell came on board. Rebecca then came on board, and then Marie came on board with Liz Civil. And it's just now come to a point that what we have in front of us is the strategic action plan. And I want to say thank you to all of you that have been part of this whole journey. I have been championing the strategic action plan since 2010, and I'm just so glad that it's now come to this point. And just the last thing, through you, Chair, is really around the people, and Marie will be talking about our steering group and the people on that steering group. But right from the start, Stephen Wainwright, the CEO of Creative New Zealand, was right on board in regards to our action plan. We even had Helen Barthel at our last meeting talk about and made comments about the action plan and how supportive they are. But yeah, look, it's a long time coming, 5 years, and again, I just wanted to sort of say thank you to the councillors involved in all this work and our recommendations.
I will.
Thank you.
okay. Any questions of the Councillor Lee?
Mr. Chairman, I read about this strategic action, arts and culture strategic action plan, which seems to be a combination of a strategy and an action plan. Normally they're two separate things, but however, I read about it in the Herald, and Brian Rudman, a senior member of the Herald journalism establishment, a quintessential liberal person, and certainly an arts and culture buff and advocate, was scathing about this document, and he made the point that it shouldn't, this sort of document should not be about the glories or supremacy of one culture or one ethnic group over the rest. And I'm afraid that's what it is. It seems to have muddled up culture with ethnicity. And yes, there are certain overlaps in those definitions, but culture, as normally understood in terms of art and culture, is more about the creative cultures, the world culture that we all share, the culture of not just Maori culture, which this document completely focuses on really, or to the exclusion of just about everything else. But this document seems to shut out any understanding or appreciation or promotion of culture in the normally accepted meaning of the word, which governments and local governments do promote. We've turned our back on the culture of Shakespeare and Chopin and Verdi and Mozart, and we're just focusing on the culture of one ethnic group above all others, and it happens to be Maori, which in Auckland happens to be the number 4 in terms of ethnic groups in the region. Now, that's fine, but we are going to the people of Auckland, of all of those ethnic groups, to pay for this, and that's not a fair go. It doesn't bring credibility to this council where we go in an extreme direction and focus on one aspect of culture and an unusual definition of culture in the sense of art and culture. And I know that this council and the officers now are very politically correct, but I'm concerned about a conformity which is being imposed on this council, a thoughtless conformity which is not sustainable over time and not helpful for any ethnic group, for that matter, in terms of harmony and unity going forward. So I have to say, I've looked at this strategic action plan, how I could improve it, but it is actually so muddled up and so non-artistic and so non-cultural in the normal meaning of that word that it actually is quite hopeless. So that's my view. And I have to say, I have to share Brian Rudman's view on this, on this strategic action plan, and I think most people in Auckland, particularly in the arts and cultural community, would share those views.
I just wonder, if you go to page 13, well, page 167, but page 13 of the document, it says our people. I just wonder if you change the position of those two paragraphs, 4.1, first paragraph, and put this, the second paragraph in as the lead paragraph there. Okay, I think that may be just an issue.
I just didn't get that, so.
Chair, can I?
Which one am I looking at?
Oh, I think Leanne's
Sorry, no,
got
I'm just reading that, just what Councillor Lee's saying. It does kind of hit you in the face.
What section of the document?
Sorry?
What section of the document itself?
Section 4, our strengths and opportunities.
Am I looking in the right book?
It's not there.
So instead of saying the plan recognises, let's just say Auckland is the most ethnically diverse region in New Zealand.
Page, please.
You happy with that?
Which page?
Well, it's page 13 of the actual plan, and it's page 167 of the document.
Thank you.
On the, it's this attachment document.
Didn't get that.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't got that. I never look at them online. It's
You'll do that, will you? Yeah, okay.
Chair, can I just wanted, because
Road in Manukau.
what's just been said by Councillor Lee is obviously debatable.
Well,
But,
yeah, but I
but
don't
no,
wanna
no,
get
no,
into
no,
a big-
sorry, I was just going to say, and I know you're chairing the committee, I just wanted Marie and Rebecca and Kataraina to really address some of the issues that he has raised, and I know you're going to do that, Chair, because they are wrong and they are his. So I just wanted to at least give the ladies an opportunity.
Oh, look, I don't really want to get into a,
Well, they might want to respond, Mr Chair.
Exactly.
No one does any notice of what
okay,
Mike
you can
said
respond,
anyway.
but, you know,
I see Manukau translated as a road in Auckland.
Councillor Lee, you had a pretty good bite of the speaking to. So if you got any comments? No comments?
Well,
No. So,
Well, then can I speak on this item? Chair,
well, I
I laid it down, we can have questions, but I just
no,
wanted
I've
to
got
speak
Mr
to it.
Wilcox on before you.
Yeah, no, that's all right, I just want to put my name there, Chair.
Yeah. So I suppose the last time I looked, Mozart was from Austria, Verdi was Italian, Chopin was Polish. I think the only Anglo-Saxon guy in there is Shakespeare. So I think we're really pretty
Well, you mean like
multicultural
Wilcox.
as it is. So, I mean, I don't understand the position that we're not catering to other ethnicities, because I think we've got a fair little pack there out of Europe alone. But I think the main thing I'd like to say about this is it recognises Māori as Indigenous people in this country. It doesn't say they're better than anybody else. My God, who's the person who's saying that? only idiots in the paper by the sound of it. And it also understands, and it says so in our our people kaupapa, that actually we're changing faster than this document is actually going to be able to keep up. You go to Albany, you're struggling to hear an Anglo-Saxon word,
Absolutely. Cape Town to
you
Cairo.
know, you know, so I'm more than comfortable with this document. I mean, I looked down at further down to attachment B of the local board arts and culture actions. I mean, there's a fair smattering of, you know, there's the Howick people and there's all these, I mean, and even in our own selves, I mean, Westies are Westies, and you know, they ain't going to mix with people from Oraki. So I mean, you know, and their culture is their
Certainly
culture.
not Waiheke.
So I mean, I'm quite happy with that. Maori culture is its culture, and it's dynamic, and it's moving, and it's changing. And just as the dynamism that's in Auckland now, I mean, who would have said that the Lantern Festival would be as big as it is now,
Actually.
5 years or 10 years ago? So it's happening faster than we can keep up with, you know. And I just say, well, you know, I think we've had a fair smattering from others. So my question is this a Maori-centric kaupapa?
Oh, look, I don't think you need to ask the officers that question.
Well, I think
Well, it's been said.
it's been said, and I think
Best to ask mine.
and I think they would be able to answer.
Count the words, Member Wilcox.
Oh, God.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
No, I don't think it's going to get us anywhere, and I think Councillor Filipaina, you coming back and...
Well,
report
Chair, I mean, I laid the platform because it was interesting, it was important that the whakapapa to where we started is mentioned, and I just want to speak to this because I will move the recommendation.
Well,
and
I've
I
just
will-
changed it with the agreed changes.
That's fine with the agreed changes, but I want to at least give our councillors around here as to what has been done in the formation of this strategic action plan. Thank you, Kathy, and because what I've heard from Councillor Lee is so far from the point. It's actually, I knew it was going to happen, and I actually said that to the staff, that I guarantee that Māori will get picked on, and that's exactly what's happening here. So, Chair, look, I really just wanted to point out that when the steering group, we've got members of Creative New Zealand, we've got members of our Arts Trust, we've got members of our universities whose sole responsibility is art and culture. We have got members from central government on there, and they were here. Some of those members of the steering group were here, but as a result of the agenda, they've had to leave, and they've put their apologies in. They continue to ask that they be involved in the implementation stage of the strategic action plan. This has gone through all our local boards, all of them. And I'm sure Councillor Lee has read the agenda and the comments made by all the local boards. I'm sure he has. I'm also sure that he's read the document fully, the strategic action plan fully, that also reminds him that it's not just Māori that's in there, but also it's for all our communities. They had in March of this year, with the 6 goals through you, Chair, they had a meeting at the Auckland Museum, which they brought all our community, our partners, into the Auckland Museum, and they discussed the 6 goals, and what the groups there wanted to do was that they wanted to put their name and their organisation to some of the goals that they would represent. So, Chair, if people want to throw stones from the outside, namely Brian Rudman, let him throw the stones, but that's only one view. So,
Exactly.
Chair, thank
We
you.
never read him
No
anyway.
other speakers? I'm going to put the motion.
Be leaving.
Those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
No.
Carried.